Hey guys, thanks for joining me. Today I'm here with Jase, who is successful with Amazon merch, Amazon KDP, potentially more. I don't know. We just met, so I'm excited to get to know your story, Jase. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me on, Ryan. I'm excited to talk to you. And yeah, I appreciate you having me on your platform.
Yeah, I saw your interview with Mr. Addy. It sounded like you had a really big win with regards to Amazon merch, your journey there, and an exit, which is rare to hear about, but that actually piqued my interest in Amazon merch before I even had an account back in 2017, early on. Like I got in tier 10, I think I was accepted in March of 2017. Before I was even accepted, I had saw somebody on like Empire Flippers sold their account for more than like $200,000, I think. And you had a similar exit. Do you mind just like briefly talking about that?
Yeah. So I guess I didn't really know that you could sell your merch by Amazon. So I was the opposite to you. So you saw at the beginning, I didn't know at all. So I thought I'd just have this account for life. And it was only in sort of like a conversation with a friend of mine who's big in e-commerce, not merch by Amazon, although he does merch by Amazon. He mentioned how his friends were selling businesses on Empire Flippers. So I was like, what's Empire Flippers? I have to check this out. So I checked it out. And that was a couple of years before I actually sold my account. But it just planted a seed in my head. Oh, I could actually exit on merch by Amazon, which I didn't think you could do. I thought once you got an account, it's your account. You're not allowed to exit. But after initial talking with Empire Flippers, they do it really professionally. They know how to do it. They've done so many. Then I realized, oh, this could actually work. And I just put it aside in my head for a while. And it was only like, long story short, it was only when I started thinking, getting bored of merch by Amazon, to be like frank with you. And I started thinking, maybe, just maybe, I should actually sell this while it's making money, because the last year or two, it's just been going down. It hit a nice peak in 2021. And then it just slowly declining. It's like it was connected to my interest in the account. So the more I lost interest, the more I was doing other stuff. I was doing stuff in crypto. I was doing NFTs. I was literally just leaving that account, barely checking it. It was just declining. Then I thought, I better do something with this now while I can. So then I sold my account on Empire.
Can I ask, like, were you active when you were inactive? Were you still active? Like, I try to reprice a product at least every day. Like, I'll look at what sold yesterday, and it's just a habit. Like, I just go in, reprice something. Do you do anything like that?
Yeah, I was doing like when it was coming up to an event. I could talk openly actually about my niches because I've got rid of the account. So I was heavily in the black niche. So yeah, this is going to be an exclusive interview for you because I'm just going to reveal everything. So
yeah, and what tier were you in, and like how much money were you making? You didn't say that yet. So just to get people's interest going.
Okay, yeah, I was tier. Jeez, I can't even remember now.
10K, 20K.
No, it's a bit higher. It's like 200K. 200K. Yeah, it's quite a big account. 200K, and at the time of selling it, it was a net profit of around $8,000 a month over the last 12 months. Yeah. And It hit its peak around 2021 with the Black Lives Matter. Because I was heavily in the black niche, some of my shirts just took off organically. And I think my highest was about 18, 19 grand in a month. And that was like barely any ads as well. So
nice, man. Yeah, did you roll that into crypto? I have to ask because I love crypto. I love investing, all that good stuff.
Yes.
NFTs.
Yeah. So what I did at the time, just around that time, completely separate to e-commerce, I had some properties as well, like property portfolio. I sold up a lot of that and I put it all into crypto, like pretty much 90% into crypto. It was a bold move. But I thought, because I've got this merch by Amazon account making quite a lot of money, this is kind of like bonus money. I'm going to put a lot of that into crypto. So about 90% of my spare cash I put into crypto at the time.
Nice. Yeah. So I won't ask anything beyond that, but I imagine it was a fruitful investment. I also front ran the whole. I front ran basically the whole pump. I did a video on my channel too. I told everybody, I was like, "Yo, y'all need to be in Bitcoin right now. Like, look at the chart. Blah blah blah." It was at like it was under 20K. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, people did with that what they will, but things have been good.
It's been good. Yeah, same.
Yeah. So do you mind, like, Empire Flippers handheld you through the whole process? Like, also, anybody watching, like, does Amazon probably tell you they don't want you selling the account? Yeah, they probably do. But do they facilitate the transfer? Yes, they do. Has it happened hundreds of times before? Yes, it has. So there's text on a screen and then there's reality. all businesses in this life that you pour your blood, sweat, and tears to building, scaling up, and exiting, like an exit is a natural. To me, it's just as natural of a death as letting your business just die out organically too. So why not get paid?
Exactly. It's like I think we touched on it earlier, like the interest thing. Well, I was just saying that's the thing. Like you could work really hard at something, but eventually your interest is going to start waning, and with your interest goes your hunger, and putting you against someone that's hungry, interested, you just can't compete. Like, because you don't even know it. You don't even know that your hustle is going down because your interest is going down with it. So I think, like you said, if you can build a merch by Amazon account in a couple of years and exit, I think that's a good thing. And it's totally legit. Empire Flippers deal with it very professionally. They show you how to do it and what to do. Like it's a very efficient system that they follow. They've done it hundreds of times, and yeah, it can be done.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Yes, I did. I had an interview with Empire Flippers back in the day.
Yeah.
Probably like a year ago, maybe a little bit longer. So I'll link to that in the description. And while we're on that subject, I'm going to link to Jase's Instagram in the description as well. I know you have a link tree there, various like ways to get in contact with you. Do you want to plug that real quick, just in case anybody's like resonating with your story?
Yeah, Jase. I'm on Instagram mostly, Jase_Perry, and just like what I do on Instagram is that I try to help at least one person a day. That's why I reached out to you, because after my podcast with Addy, my audience increased, and I get a lot of questions every day, and it's just like I can actually help some of these people. These are people that I can actually help in a positive way. So I try and make sure I help one person a day minimum. So by reaching out to you as well, Ryan, I'm sure I'll get a few followers. That's just increasing my audience so I can help more people. And that sounds a bit corny, but that is what it is, man.
Hey, man, you're offering help to, and you scaled a merch account to tier 200,000. Like that puts you in an elite class. And you're willing to help people. That's awesome, man. That's, we're two peas in a pod right here with the tier 200,000 as well.
Because I think you forget all the stuff you learned along the way. So
dude, that's why YouTube is weird. YouTube, it's like you have to go back in time and remember what it was like and all the questions you had, and then try to answer them as if you're still there. It's weird.
Exactly, yeah. And there's different people in different parts of their journey. So they might not. They might need their help right at the bottom level, and stuff that you've forgotten, and you just kind of like digging out your mind to like help them. And it's it's good as well. They say you can learn more from helping others and stuff like that. So it's good to help others. I think I like it.
For sure, man. And in terms of merch, like, do you have any just general advice? Like, most people watching right now, let's just assume that they are on merch, right? Because we're talking merch. By the way, we're going to pivot to KDP in a second for anybody that's still with us that's not in merch. And you're like, I don't care about Amazon merch. Stick with us. We're talking KDP soon. But any general advice for anybody on merch right now? The average experience is that they're probably like, man, this is slow. I want more sales. I want to tier up. Like, what are your thoughts for those people right now?
Right. Okay. So 100% expect it to be tough. Okay. It's going to be hard. It's not like when I started merch, right? I'm just going to say as it is, Ryan. Yeah. It's not like when I started merch in 2019, you could put something on, it could sell organically, like within a few days. Like my first t-shirt sold within a week and no ads, nothing. I just put it on. So it's a different like market now. So I say to all the people that ask me for advice for the lower tiers, it's going to be difficult. Expect it to be difficult. And I always say, be willing to work 2 years for free. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to take you 2 years to make money, but just have that mindset of working for 2 years without any like money. So what that does, that gets you in a discipline of just working, because everyone can work when they're making money. It's easy to work when you got all this money coming in. It's when the money's not coming in that you start, oh, I won't do it so much today. It's not as interested. Just get into that habit, doing X, Y, Z every single day. And what you do, make sure that there's a potential of making money. So do your niche research, do your keywords, and publish. Make sure you're doing all of those as much as possible and repeating it as often as possible. And if you're in a lower tier and you've only got 10 slots, then you just do it, and then you delete those and you just do it and you keep doing it. And your goal there is just to get out the tier 10 so you can get to the higher tier, so you can basically repeat what you've done but on a bigger scale. And there's literally no excuse about scaling merch by Amazon now with AI. So you can put so much work in. That's not the problem. The problem is the consistency, and because the market's got a lot of competition now, it's being consistent and disciplined to do it when you're not making money, and you just got to keep going on and on and on. And I'm just sorry to plug this. I've actually done a little guide on the tier 10s, like specifically on tier 10s, because I was getting so many people questioning, what do I do at tier 10? What do I do at tier 10? Everyone's saying do ads. I haven't got ads. I was like, all right, let me think this through. Here's what you could do at tier 10. This is the best thing I think you could do. All you got to do is follow that process and repeat it over and over again. So to answer your question in short form, just be consistent and disciplined to keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, no matter if you're making money or not.
And that applies beyond just Amazon merch, right? Like that's almost anything in life. And it's funny because, dude, like what you said is 100%. Of course, it's true. And if you were to join my like free, it's like my email list, but you get an automated email series for 20 days. And it's like just basically the best advice I can give, completely free, based on 7 years of experience with multi-million-dollar sales across FBA, merch, everything, KDP, like all these little things. I wasn't $1 million KDP seller, but like, you know, combined, it's multi-million across the board and, you know, whatever. Nice. And it's like the first email just says, figure out how many dollars per day you make. Like if you're just working 9 to 5, divide what your income by 365 for perspective, and then just try to increase that number little by little. Like, you know what I mean? Like even if you put the passive income stuff in a separate bucket, it's zero. When you make the first sale, it's like, yo, you went from zero to like more than zero, even if it's like $1 or $2.
Exactly.
Because like nobody cares about $2 discreetly, but if you think of it as like $2 per day, now it's $4, you doubled it. Exactly. Then you go to 8. It's like, yo, guys, come on. It's that perspective. It's because most people don't make it due to self-sabotage, due to quitting, or due to having insane expectations right away. It's like, yo, you're making future money more than you're making money tomorrow, right?
Exactly. That's what you said there, self-sabotage. That's a big thing. I think that is the number one killer of every single person that's come onto Merch by Amazon and quit. It's because they've quit, you know, because you can make money on Merch by Amazon. It's obvious. The people that make money tell you just stick with it, keep doing the same thing. So what causes them to quit? Something in their head over and over again. This isn't working. Then they start moving on to something else. It's literally just stay on it. That's it.
Yep. I mean, we're proof that it works, right? I mean, we had 2 people here that
and all we did was stick with it. Everything we've done, and I'm sure you're the same. You started off, it's been a bummer to start with, and you just stick with it. And eventually you get little victories here and there. And I always celebrate my victories. Like yesterday I made, I think like $8 on KDP, like, cause I spent so much on ads, and I'll still celebrate my $8.
There you go.
$1 here, $2 here, just celebrate it. Every single victory, because it's a victory, and you know you're learning stuff along the way. You just kind of got to be your own cheerleader along the way, because no one's going to do it for you.
Yeah, and one thing I love, like you mentioned KDP, is like if you joined merch in 2019, like I think 2018 and maybe bleeding into 2019, like merch was in a little bit of like a dark time, in the sense that if you were like on the groups on Facebook or Reddit or anything like that, with a lot of negativity. Granted, that's not like anything that's new. I'm sure it's still probably very negative. I don't hang out as much in like the Reddit boards or anything, but there's a lot of negativity there. A lot of people that are jealous of my success. I've seen them. Shout out to the haters. That's how I know I made it. But like, dude, we had to survive that like year where it just felt like slow. Sales are going down. It felt like everybody was experiencing it, but like we were so much better coming out. I was going to say, you mentioned KDP. It's like, dude, during that year where merch was slow, I'm experimenting with Amazon Seller Central. Literally, that's the year I started Etsy print on demand. Like I found out about Redbubble towards the end of the year. It's like, man, that's what's so beautiful, is like if something's slow, whether you have a 9 to 5 and you're just trying to make your little bit of time you have extra work for you best, or like if you can, like I was a web developer, so I, you know, just monetized my spare time at work. Just being able to like try something new, you know, and
exactly. It's not like you have to go anywhere to do something, you know. It's like you literally like stay here. You got your thing going on there. You could just try out something like right here in front of you on your laptop. It's
absolutely, you open a new browser tab. How hard is that?
Exactly. Like it's very it's very easy to make. Not easy, sorry. It's like simple to make money online. Like you can switch from all those accounts, pods, and once you're good with one pod, you can kind of move some of those skills to the other, like you did with Etsy. I was on Etsy as well, Redbubble. We all kind of followed the trend. Like once we started smashing in merch, BAMs are like, hold up, we've got all these designs that are selling. These are like little assets. what can we do with these assets? Let's move them onto Etsy. Let's move them onto Redbubble, etc., etc. Or put them on KDP journals as well. T-shirt designs, as a lot of people done. But same thing. It's just like, it's right there. It's easy to do. Just got to just hustle, isn't it?
Exactly, man. And just be willing to try, you know, like what you just said, man. It's like, I've done all the above. What I call Ryan's method. I usually have a Ryan's method shirt on, but not right now. But it's like, I call Ryan's method just literally taking the work you did for Amazon merch is what I recommend, because that's the highest, you know, on average, the highest success that you're going to achieve if we polled 1,000 people or 1,000,000 people even.
I agree.
Like, so just trickle that down everywhere else. And it's only as hard as you make it on yourself. Like these processes are pretty easy, right? Like you push it to Etsy, push it to Amazon Seller Central, Walmart, eBay, like Redbubble, you know what I'm saying? And just, it's like, oh man, Redbubble only paid me $100 last month. Like that sucks. Okay, but that's $1,200 on the year. Who cares? It's fully automated.
And it's like free money, isn't it? It's like it's what you were selling somewhere else. You're now moving it to somewhere else and just selling it.
Yeah, you already did the work. It's just like put in the extra like 2 minutes and push it everywhere else. Anyways, man, like we were talking KDP. I used to take my merch t-shirt designs and make them KDP book covers and post them to lined paper blank notebooks in my first 3 months. Now I started in October 2019, and I'll never forget because I had to skip one of my close friends' baby shower, but he lived so far away. I was like, oh man, traffic was bad. There was an accident. I was like, it's gonna take me like 2 hours to get there. I just said, you know what? I'm locking myself in the house. I'm learning this thing called KDP that I know nothing about. And I literally didn't leave my house for Saturday, Sunday, 48 hours.
That's it.
October, November, December, from nothing, I made $3,500 profit.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
That's good, man. And those are just blank journals, is it? The proper.
Yeah. I did do some manually, but they were all blank journals.
Wow, yeah.
So it was converting my, like, if you remember Merch Informer, then they had Book Bolt. So I could take my t-shirt designs, use the Book Bolt converter in bulk convert them. Man. Yeah, dude.
Yeah. I remember those days. I think not everyone, but I certainly did it. Someone that I know did it. Same thing. Blank journals, literally blank line journals. And I did, one of my journals was that account, because it went with my Merch by Amazon account, is attached to my Merch by Amazon account. That account was mostly making money from just blank journals, just because it was there at the time. Like we got it back then. And just over the years, it built up organic traffic, organic keywords and reviews. So it just kept selling. But now you can't do that.
Don't do it anymore. But
don't do that now. You get your account terminated. But back then you could do it. Yeah. You could get away with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you mind? Like, I haven't been focused on KDP since I didn't have like a streamlined process. You know, what worked for me back then, because I had started YouTube, juggling a lot of stuff, trying to balance real life, of course, still had my day job. When I couldn't do that streamlined process, you know, of like bulk converting and then using upload automation, I had to pivot to something. Well, I just pivoted away from it, basically, is what I did. But what are you doing now that's working? Like, are you using like anything to generate unique interiors or anything cool?
Okay, so I'm doing the full content books. Yeah. So my strategy is basically going after the top sellers, basically. Like, to put it as simple as possible, you find a book that's selling really well, it's a bestseller, and you think, can I beat that book? Now, if you're confident enough that you can beat it, then you're confident enough to put loads of money behind the ads so enough people see it. So if they're looking at their book and your book, and they start picking your book, then you're a winner. If they're looking at both books and they're still, you know, buying the bestseller and ignoring your book, then, you know, that book's got to go in front of other books and see if it sells. But eventually, if it's not converting well on the ads, then that's it. The book's gone and all that effort's gone with it. So it's kind of high risk, but high reward as well, because the potential is huge. Like,
can I ask like how you target keywords? Like, are you looking at like pretty broad search terms and just trying to see if you can win in that little, you know, lane almost?
No, it's not even that, Ryan. It's literally, you see a book and think, can I beat that book? That's it.
But are you writing a book like then? Are you like reading the book title and being like, I'm going to write that book, you know?
Yeah. So just say you see a book about, I don't know, you know, water bottles or something about water bottles. And you think, I can do a better version of that, but with a different title, different cover, everything different. But it's going to talk about not just the water bottle, the materials, you know, what you can put in it and stuff like that, because that book's only talking about water bottles. I think I could do a better version than that. And then you put your book next to that one with ads. And then if it takes off, it takes off. Yeah.
Okay, then. Wow.
Yeah, it's still it's really very simple. Like there's not much to it than that, Ryan. It's like you can create an interior, you can use AI, obviously, but I think you still need to humanize AI. And it's like obviously if your interior is good, if it's an actually well written book, that's got longevity, because eventually, if you could put a really good book out there, really good cover, and sell it well, and people will just start buying it, because you know what people like on Amazon, they like the cover, they just buy it, right? But eventually down the line, if the interior is not good, slowly like bad reviews are going to start coming through. Yeah. So just making sure every single element of it is actually got longevity, and just go for it. Yeah, it's just about beating what the competition. A bit like merch, you see a bestseller and you think, I can do that, but I'm just going to do slightly different. I'm going to do my take on it, or I'm going to cross the niche. Exactly the same, but I go for the books that are making a lot of money, so it's worth the risk of
big win.
Worth the risk of paying for so many ads.
Can I ask, like, because I've always thought about how I would do KDP if I had to right now, and like, I've not even tried to do like a AI assisted like kind of long form book, but I always thought like it would be easy to do like, most likely just use AI to help with graphics in like a similar style, and do like children's books where I would just add the text in, but they would be like simple, maybe rhyming text, 20-page book or something. But like, am I off base? Like, do you mind sharing? Like, are you doing a lot of like really long form books, mid to low, or?
Yeah, sure. So I actually, when I first had this idea of going hard on KDP, my first idea was actually exactly the same as yours. Children's book, text and everything like that. But what I found out was the quality of KDP books can't compete with the quality of like a publisher doing a children's book. Like, it's not that great. So I was told by some coaches, that's another story, avoid that, but just go after every other book you can, but not the children's niche, unfortunately. But what you're saying is basically it. You can use AI for the graphics, AI for the text, but I think it does need a human element. I mean, one of my best-selling books is kind of like an activity book, so it's very hard to replicate with AI. I mean, you could get the individual elements from AI, but it'd be very hard to replicate, because you've got to put it all together. You might have a crossword and then a word search. You can't just go to one thing and say, put both these together. You'd have to go somewhere, create that, and then put it together. So I was thinking like, maybe that's a better way of going about it, going after books that take a long time if people want to copy it. So when I do have a best-selling book, then it will kind of deter any competition, because they're thinking, I've got AI, but I still can't do that interior. Let me leave that. Let me just copy a word book, just like textbook or something like that.
Yeah, dude, I was just thinking too, because it's been a while since I did the KDP videos for YouTube too, but there were so many cool tools. Like, there's this guy, Bose Publishing, that I love all his stuff. I'm still on his mailing list, so I see all his stuff that he's working on. Like, he had this PowerPoint add-on that I had used back in the day to make coloring books. You just load up as many as you need in PowerPoint, in Microsoft PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Run the thing. Like, load up images, I meant. So and that was before like AI images were so popular, and you could just like do it today, AI images, not too detailed, run that thing, and it just removes all the color and leaves the outlines. Make a coloring book super simple, literally export from there as a PDF, and like, you've got your interior, man. And I mean, I would probably do something like that. Is that, what do you think about that?
I think a lot of people are doing that. Again, I think it's down to finding a color book that, if I was to do color books, I don't do color books, but if I was to do it, I would look for a best-selling color book. Ideally one that hasn't got a fan base, because I've seen a lot of them got fan bases, one that's kind of like not fan base related. It's just selling well in a niche, and then look into, can I beat that cover? Can I beat the title? Can I beat the interior? Can I beat all three of those? And then put your money where your mouth is. Once you've done the book, I'm going to pump in like $500 of ads, $1,000 of ads behind this, because if it's selling well, then I mean, that color book could be making 10 grand a month or something like that. So then it's worth like the risk of putting that money behind it. That's what I would do if I was doing color books, but
And KDP's lower barrier of entry than Amazon merch. So like, is that why you keep coming back to ads? Like, it's, and I could be wrong, so correct me if I am, but do you think like the ads is something you reasonably need to be doing if you're going to invest the time and effort into the higher quality books, since the like low quality approach that I used to take is not really supported anymore?
Yeah, exactly that. I think that you could do the low quality stuff, but then you got to go volume, because if if you're putting out, if you're not going to do any ads, then you kind of you want to get eyes on as many designs as possible. Where if you got ads, you got one design, you want to get eyes on that one design, you could pay for that. But if you got no ads, then now you're looking at putting out loads of designs because one of those designs are going to get eyes on it. So you got to go that route with KDP, and you can't really do no content anymore. You can do low content, so you could design a couple of pages, or like medium content. So you can do that route, but if you're going to do that, then you got to start smashing them out. I was actually doing that. Little plug as well. I've got like a little guide where I was creating like a medium content book using AI in like 24 hours because I was trying to bang out a journal every 24 hours because I thought I've got to get so many of these out. Let me just like get as many, let me work out a system where I could do as many journals as possible. So I think that's the route you need to take if you were to do like no ads. But I didn't have that much success. The most I've been making from that recently, like in the last year or two, is about $50 to $80 a month. So it does work, but it's just whether you want to go down that route or not. I'll prefer to go for the high rewards.
I appreciate the insights. Yeah, maybe my mind just falls into like the common pitfalls, and since I'm on the outside looking in, not really doing it anymore, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, it could work though. Yeah.
Have you tried anything else? Like I learned about Amazon influencers last year in like September, I think. And like, I've only really recorded videos for like 5 days, but I'm going to make probably like 7 or 8 grand this year profit from those 5 days. But it was like days dedicated to recording. So, I mean, I recorded a lot. Like,
what is that Amazon influencer? Is that where you're like affiliate links to products or something like that?
It is that, but it's also that you can like record video reviews of any product, like these scissors.
Okay.
And literally tag it on Amazon, tag the ASIN, and upload your video review. And then if somebody watches your video and then purchases it, because they'll put the videos on the product page, you get a percentage. You know, so if I did the scissors, I'd get pennies. But if you do more expensive products, like you can make a ton of money. So
whoa, I did hear about that actually. I signed up, but then I didn't take it any further. So that's you actually did you say you recorded a load of videos in bulk?
I did like 5 days of like recording days where like the day was me recording stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But it's like more than $1,000 a day is what I'm on pace to do this year. You know what I mean? For sure.
Man, that's decent, man.
Yeah. I mean, I think more people should do it, but also like, I don't know. I don't know what it's like to be other people. I only know what it's like to be me. So it's like, you know what I mean? I had Adam Young, this other guy, like he's on YouTube. He's on merch. He's killing it too. He's a awesome like entrepreneur, and he's public. He's very transparent about his journey. And he was doing in his 6th month, made 10 grand profit from nothing to that. 10 grand profit in that month. That's in the month number 6. Yeah.
Okay. So there's just so many things you could just jump on. I think as long as you just commit to it and go hard, like straight away, and just get stuck in. It's almost like you saying that you filmed like 5 days worth. It's almost like you just got on with it without overthinking it. And I think a lot of the times we overthink stuff and talk ourselves out of it. Like you think, oh, what if it doesn't work? We're like, what if it does work? And you've shown that, like, what if it does work? Just go hard at it, and just never know. You might as well just go hard at it and just give it a go, right?
Yeah, everything I do is always like, my mindset is, can this be streamlined? You know what I mean? Like, even if I haven't started it yet, it was like the KDP thing. It was like, I wasn't actually really doing KDP like you're doing it. I was doing it in like a very like streamlined fashion. You know what I mean? Where I did it all manually for like the first week, let's say. But after the first week, I'm like, I get it. I get what's going on here.
Yeah.
There's these software tools that I can use. I'm going to use them. Like I would literally be at my 9-to-5 job, but I would, to be completely transparent, I would run the KDP uploader overnight while I was sleeping.
Yeah.
And then while I'd be at my 9-to-5 job, I would remote into my computer at home, and I would be queuing up uploads to like all the major print on demand platforms as well. And it's like, cause I just knew, I'm like, this is gonna work, right? Like, how could it not? And then, it worked.
Yeah. I was doing the same with, there was a similar software as well, where you just put it on and it goes onto, Redbubble, Spreadshirt.
Yep.
Yeah. And you just kind of set it up, and exactly the streamline thing. And then also, like, with my Merch by Amazon account, when I was building that, again, I just created a process. Like, I did the work first to see what worked, and then I just got people in to copy what I did. But except obviously with them, they could just like do more and more of it. But again, I was just thinking, how can I streamline this so I could just scale it up? So it's the same thing. You're looking at a system that you can create from it, so you can scale it up quickly.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great way. It's probably not the way to do like the best of the best, but it's a good way to get established in anything. Like even YouTube, like I created a streamlined way of doing videos so I could do it daily, put in those reps, get more comfortable staring at a damn camera lens. You know what I mean? All this stuff that's totally unnatural, you know, but it's like I want to be better at it. So yeah. That's my secret, man. What's your secret to success in business? Give us all a secret.
It's always that consistency thing. I think it's the discipline to work, whether you're making money or not. So I do little mental exercises now and again. I don't check sales, stuff like that, and just keep going. Or I check sales, and if they're bad, I'm just like, yeah, these are bad. These are rubbish. I don't like these, but I'm going to work anyway. I'm just going to work. Just work. And just being consistent over a period of time. And eventually, you get your rewards later down the line. Yeah. In terms of like a secret, I think everyone knows this. Everyone knows this. Just put in the work over a long period of time. But over that period of time, it's just then reality kicks in. And then they forget, oh yeah, all I've got to do is do this over a period of time. They forget about that. And it's easy to forget when things are going bad. So yeah, if that's a secret to success, that's all I do. Simple stuff.
I think though, like, and a lot of, I think successful entrepreneurs have that in common is the, like, I don't struggle ever with the concept of like, will I show up? Will I do the work? That's never something that like that occupies 0% of my brain's like intellectual capacity ever.
Yeah.
Right. Like other people might struggle with like, oh, but I'm like doom scrolling on whatever, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. It's like, that's not an issue for me. You know what I mean? Like I kind of see those apps for what they are, and I've never had any issues with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what most people struggle with, but I do hope that everybody watching that we can like serve as some sort of like inspiration and, you know what I mean? Like nothing's set in stone. Like life is fluid. You as a person are fluid. Like if you really like want to achieve something, like I would say, you know, it's hard to say be self-aware, but be self-aware, be critical of yourself, how you spend your time, like literally be honest with yourself. How are you spending your time? A lot of this comes down to time, and like make changes in your life that like set yourself up for success. That's
what I mean. Yeah. I read, there's a book, like, I think it was Brian Tracy or someone said, just make a note of what you do with your day, like every 15 minutes. You'd be surprised, like how much time you just waste, man. Like when I'm really on my hustle, and I show this in my Instagram a lot in the stories, I'll make sure I'm sitting there. I've got everything ready. I've only got an hour. I'm going to just, for that 1 hour, just focus completely on what I need to do, like completely, no distractions. And it's amazing how much you get done with just 1 hour. So if someone's watching this, they're thinking, you know, they're not successful because maybe they haven't got time. They think they haven't got time to do this, or they may be thinking like it's too difficult. All it is a case of using your time to just commit to it for a certain period, fully focused, and then that over a period of months or a year or two just compounds, and eventually you'll break through and start making money. It's as simple as that. It's just so simple. I'm just thinking there is nothing else to it, is it? Well, in my opinion,
there's so many ways to make money now, like we've just talked about, but you even said it like, and I heard what you said, man. And it's like, you almost corrected yourself, but I don't think you needed to. It's like, you either think you don't have time or you actually don't have time. Like, but they're not the same. Like if you don't have time, you don't have time. If you have 15 minutes, get 15 minutes of work done. Don't try to get an hour's worth of work done. But if you think you don't have time, but you actually could optimize your life to have time, that's something completely different. That like, you know what I mean? And man, I could go on about this stuff forever, but it's like, seriously, like the mental side, it all starts there. I think I don't have time. Therefore, even if I actually do, I'm self-sabotaging. I'm going to treat my life like I don't, and I'm not even going to try. You know what I mean? It's like, it can't be that.
It makes me laugh when I hear people that say I don't have time. Like, I meet a lot of people that are not in e-commerce, or they're working 9 to 5s, and they say, oh, I love what you do. I just wish I had time to do it. And as soon as they say that, I'm thinking, you've just put yourself in that box that I don't have time. Everyone's got like 15, 20 minutes. Everyone's got an hour. You can get out of bed an hour. If you just want it enough, you will get your ass. Sorry, can I swear?
Of course, man. Yeah.
You get your ass out of bed 1 hour before you normally wake up and put the work in. Like, no one's not got enough time. Like I'm a dad. I've got 2 kids. Like if you haven't got kids and you say you haven't got time, you just don't know what it's like to not actually have fucking time. Right? When you got kids, that's when you realize how valuable your time is. All it is you're prioritizing your time for one thing. Now you're thinking, right, I want to build a side hustle. I want to make this merch by Amazon KDP work. I'm going to move that priority to that. And this is going to have to suffer or go. And there's always room to get rid of something and put it into this, because this is important stuff. This is life-changing stuff, man. You can make money, life-changing money right in front of you on your laptop, like right now, like even on your phone, obviously, but with merch by Amazon KDP, it's probably going to be a laptop, iPads. I mean, this is my iPads. I bought it back in like 6 years ago, I think now. Or no, I've switched it up since, but literally from that on my kitchen table, I built that merch by Amazon account, which I sold for over 200K. Like using that, I didn't even have to leave my house if I didn't want to. You know,
that's crazy, man. I love that success story. So no excuses.
Yeah. So it's like, it's just you got your priorities, mix them around a bit, so you're prioritizing building these digital assets, because it does pay dividends. It's life changing.
Yes, sir. And then roll it all into crypto.
Game over. Put it all in crypto.
Not financial advice.
Yeah. Not financial advice. Don't come back to this channel, but put it all in crypto and 10x right now.
Love it, man. But I do actually think too, man. It's like, you got to meet your basic needs, and then if you just put that money in a bank, you're gonna get crushed. I mean, I don't want to get this whole, like, I could start a whole nother hour-long conversation, but it's like, man, like, you got to protect your purchasing power. You got to buy some assets that'll appreciate relative to inflation, all that good stuff. Any final words, man? I do appreciate your time.
Yeah. In terms of what?
Anything, man. Anything. Entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Talking money, talking whatever. Yeah. I tell people all the time, like, just plant seeds, water the seeds, 15 minutes a day, hour a day, and just see where it takes you.
That's it. Yeah. So if anyone's watching this and they're thinking about starting something, like, all right, we're talking merch by Amazon KDP, but anything, just give yourself some time every day to just do it, and just do it. Don't think about it. I would say do not think about it. Just do it. I mean, I think part of my success is I'm a bit delusional. I think, shit, I can make X amount on that. Let me do it. Like, if I was to talk to someone now, they'd be like, how would you do that? And then you start talking yourself out of it. Just do it. Just take action, because during the action, that's when you really learn. So just take action and then learn along the way.
Love that, man. Yeah, my favorite type of people are the ones who don't really watch my content. Like, I love when they watch my content, but it's like, if you have two monitors, put it on a side monitor and work while you watch. If you have one monitor, put it in the background and literally work while you listen. But like, I like the people that are working while they're listening to this content. I think that's how you get the most out of it. So that's my secret too, man. Like, legit, I'm constantly like, I watch everything at 2x speed because I'm crazy, but it's like, I'm listening and learning 24/7 at double speed. And that's like my life, man.
Yeah, I've heard about that actually. I might try that, but I'm always listening to a podcast when I'm working. Like, that's the beauty of doing creative stuff. Like, if you're designing a t-shirt or something like that, I can always like listen to a podcast, as opposed to like typing, where it's kind of like you're typing words but trying to listen to words. That always messes around my head. But with creative stuff, I can listen, and you just pick up little seeds of information, and that can kind of just sway your life in a different direction. And before you know it, you're at a place that you wouldn't have been if you hadn't listened to that one podcast, that one sentence in that one podcast 1 year ago, just change your life. So it's great to be like getting all this information from different people, different places, and listening to it all positive. What else are you going to do? Listen to music? What's the point in that? Listen to the news.
Listen to propaganda, which is my favorite. So many people do that. They subject themselves to listening to mindless propaganda that gets contradicted a couple months later. Nonsense. Like, the exact opposite ends up being what was true. Whoops. I cannot stand it, man.
Nah, nonsense. Just like, or Netflix or something like that. Just like, listen to good stuff that's going to push you towards your goals. And I would always say as well, always write goals. I write goals a lot. Like, just have an idea of where you want to go. Just simple stuff. You can spend like 1 minute on your goals. I want to make 100 grand a month or something like that. I make 100 grand a month. Just keep your mind on that, because while you're working and while you're getting swayed left and right with all the failures and things aren't going the way, you just kind of got to keep your mind on where you actually want to be. And that keeps you positive as well. Because if you're going to think about stuff like without really thinking about it, you might as well think about your goals as opposed to something else. you know what they say about if you're always thinking about something, then it comes into fruition, sort of thing, like law of attraction. So yeah, keep your mind on what you want as much as possible. And how many thoughts pass through your brain every single day? It's like you can't even calculate how many thoughts. So if you're constantly thinking about what you want, then things start happening, like opportunities start appearing. You start looking at things different. Something you might have heard a week ago will sound different now, because now it's aligning to your goals and things like that. So it's all about thinking about what you want. That's what I'd say as well.
Yeah, that's a massive hack, man. That's a massive hack. And like, just to elaborate on one other thing you said too, it's like, you know, if you want to make, let's just say you want to make 100K in a year from your side hustle. Okay, that's one thing to say. Now, the people who will make it are going to go even just 10 seconds further in your thought process. I want to make 100K profit. Let's say I have a 10% profit margin. I need to make $1 million in revenue. So if I'm going to go launch a single product, I need to evaluate the market. It needs to be reasonably projectable to do $1 million in revenue. Otherwise, you're lying to yourself. You see what I'm saying? 10 seconds of thought, 10 seconds all it takes. But it's like, yo, we got to stop lying to ourselves. And I'm like, and I would, dude, a million times over agree about what you occupy your head with is going to manifest in your life. So if you just watch like television propaganda all day, you're going to have like, it's like audio cancer. If you ask me, that's how I feel about it.
No.
Or you could be like actually listening to business podcasts with smart people, entrepreneurs like us that have made it. And we talk like real life stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It's what you put in your brain is obviously what you listen to, who you hang out with, like the conversations you have on a day-to-day basis. You got to keep that like at a certain level. Like I always think, like I think Robert Kiyosaki said, if you're in the room and you're the smartest guy in there, you're in the wrong room. So just getting around people that are doing what you want, or like at where you want to be, or beyond that, just getting around people like that. And I'll tell you a quick story. I mentioned it on before, but when I was selling my merch by Amazon account on Empire Flippers, that's when I saw these guys selling their KDP account for an obscene amount of money. And because they were making so much money on KDP and I wanted to get into KDP, I thought I just have to talk to these guys. Just have to. So I asked Empire Flippers, like, put me in touch with these guys no matter what it takes. And these guys they're killing it. So they must have got contacted by Empire Flippers saying, yo, this guy wants to talk to you. And it's like, who the fuck's this guy? Yeah. All right, let's see if he's legit. It's going to cost you X amount of money to talk to me, sort of thing. Like, you can either have a 1 hour phone call with me for this amount, or I can respond to like a few of your questions for this amount. Just basically a kind of go away price, because they probably thought this guy's not going to do it, but I was just like, no, I want to talk to these guys. So I paid it, spoke to these guys. Now I'm kind of building up a good relationship. They're kind of like my coaches. And that's it. I mean, in that room, KDP room, call it, I'm absolutely nothing like in terms of like profit compared to these guys. So the conversations I have with them is I'm constantly learning. Everything they say, I'm constantly learning. You know, so that's the sort of conversations you want to have, as opposed to if you're meeting your mates down the pub. In UK, we've got pubs, you know, bars or whatever. What are the conversations there? You know, if these guys aren't where you want to be, why waste your time? This is your time, you know. Very important stuff, man.
I love that perspective, man. Yeah. And also just the mindset. It's like, dude, if I'm talking KDP with my buddies, they might be talking like $100 a month type goals. And if you just set that goal to 100K a month and you fall short, but you hit 10K, you're like, okay, I'm making 10K instead of 100 still. It's not bad,
That's
you know?
Insane, man. Like, I've got this little thing where I say, you know, if my goal is to hit 100K in a month with the KDP. Now, that's obviously like anyone that's sensible is going to say it's going to take a while, right? But I just shorten everything down. Like, I want to hit it by December. I want to hit it by June. Like, I want to hit it in 6 months. What do I need to do to hit it in 6 months? And it's just asking that question. What do I need to do it? And then you see, like, you put you in the mindset of like being more urgent. Now your time matters, because, you know, you've got to put so much amount of time into it to hit it that quick. And you're probably going to fail. But by doing that, you're going to be further down the line than you would have been if, you know, you just said, I want to hit 100K in 1 month, like with no deadline, with nothing to it. It's like, just kind of like pack everything together and push your mentality, because all you're doing is switching your mindset. It's like, you're not doing anything different. You're just thinking, instead of doing it in X amount, I'm going to do it in this amount. I think Elon Musk said that. That's where I got the idea.
Yeah, man. And if other people are doing it, like, we can do it, right? So
you
got to believe in yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah,
Jase, man, it's been a pleasure having you here. I really appreciate it. And we're going to plug your Instagram, top link in the description. So everybody go check that out. Give them a follow. Network with like-minded entrepreneurs out here trying to make it. Jase, man, anything else before we kill this interview?
Nothing. I think we covered everything to do with merch by Amazon KDP that we know. But thank you for having me on your platform, Ryan. And yeah, keep doing what you're doing. It's great, man.